What up? What up? What up? Good morning and welcome back. I'm going to put on my camera in a sec. For those of you tuning in on YouTube, remember to check out the disclaimer. Remember that day trading is, of course, risky business. Risky business. Okay. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're ready to take on another beautiful day here in the markets. I am back after a couple days vacation. Wasn't even really a vacation. I'd say more of a bender is how it felt. I feel pretty good though, and looking to pick up where I left off. We were making some really good progress. I will say the only thing that I don't love is that last night I didn't get to do as much reviewing as I would like, but overall, not too bad. So it is go time here. Let me just get my settings here and we'll be ready to go. As usual, hit the thumbs up as you're tuning in. I can put on the scanners here for a quick sec, just so we can see the top stocks here. Of course, we're utilizing Day Trade Dash as our scanning and charting platform right now. So we got VRAX, KXIN, and PMAX as our leading stocks. VRAX, this is a stock we've traded before in the past, and it does look pretty decent here, up around 82 cents, 83 cents. Not looking bad. Started off around 8:08 a.m. with a strong move, and since our high of day level at 88, or rather, let's say $1, we haven't really been able to curl back up. Instead, we've been holding support here at the lows around the VWAP. So it definitely looks interesting. It's definitely one that could potentially hold its levels and, maybe give us that extra move to 120, 130, maybe 160 if we're really lucky. So VRAX definitely not looking bad at all here. So as we come down on the watch list, KXIN is also up there. I'll check the daily chart on this one quickly here, just to see. One day VRAX. Time, how are we doing on time? It's 22. Yeah, the daily chart has been beaten up over the last few weeks, and today we're getting a nice curl up. The 200 EMA is actually at 93 cents, which is worth keeping an eye on here. I'm just going to throw another trend line there just to remind me of that area. Okay, so VRAX looking decent if we can break over the 93 level, the $1 level, the pre-market highs. We could potentially get an extra move there. Not bad. KXIN. And that one is up, 100+%, right? With 100 million shares of volume already. Let's get this to come up just a little bit. There we go. KXIN. Looks like a multi-day kind of a move here. Honestly, it does look a little messy. Can we take this 470 level? I don't know. This one doesn't really look that great. And if we do, there's maybe room up here to 587, but can we even get over this level here to begin with? For KXIN, 470s, will we be able to take that level? So, something I do notice with these charts is that even when they're linked, the trend lines don't appear on the other ones. I think maybe that's something that they could. I'll write down these things. I'll make this video this week, by the way. There's 6 minutes to the bell. I'm gonna make a day trade dash review video here. Good platform. Just like some small things like that, you know, trend lines. We once the charts are linked to trend lines, we'd like to see them populate on the other ones. Maybe not everybody likes that, but kind of used to seeing that. So yeah, KXIN, you know, we'll see. PMAX is the next one down. This also doesn't look that great. You know, we've had our move in after hours early, and then it made a bit of a move today earlier, and you know, at 4 a.m. since then it's been on the decline. So this one is like a way back in the mind kind of stock. And I think that might do it. So IXHL does look okay. This one does look decent. Let's pull this one up. So it looks like we're gonna have two penny stocks here, which is no problem. Where did it go on the list? Did it just fall off into oblivion? Okay. All right. Anyhow, yeah, IXHL looks okay. It's up 25%. There's some volume. You know, maybe there's something there as well. But I think for me into the open, it's definitely going to be VRAX here. And then I'll switch over to whatever stock might be moving. If this one happens to, you know, not hold up the VWAP. So in terms of share size, you know, before I left, I was trying to size up some more. You know, we were seeing some really nice days that, you know, in terms of cents, the key was just to size up. Today we're back. We didn't really get to do much studying. So, you know, I think today, instead of continuing right away with trying to size, we just want to make sure we're back in a good groove. So we're just going to keep the size small again. And as long as we can, you know, see some good follow through tomorrow, we'll look to size back up some more. Yeah, QCLS, I do see a hidden scans here, but okay, okay. QCLS right up at that high of 450. Yeah, I do have a bit of a cold, so my voice is a little raspy, as Enzo would say. Just a little raspy. Gotta get back on the lemon water grind. Yeah, QCLS, don't worry, I see it. I mean, it is perking up. You know, maybe I could put it as my second string stock. Time, 3 minutes. Don't reject this high now, right? Hold up your levels and keep going and be a strong stock for us here today. How many people do we have? I'm curious. Let me check. Let's see here. There's 270 people. Jesus Christ. We've fallen off to the depths. Guys, be sure to hit the thumbs up as you're tuning in. Oh my god. And yeah, I know how to fix that, but hit that thumbs up as you're tuning in. Time, 1 minute to go. The mighty must have had the people falling to sleep. Okay, QCLS, you know, I'll keep an eye on it. This level here around 450 seems, you know, to be a bit of a trouble, right? A bit of a problem right now. We'll see if it's able to rip over and, you know, give a steady move. Still, VRAX is my main stock here into the open. As usual, I'll call out my trades, what I'm looking at. I'm trying to be more vocal these days. It's a pretty decent trade there on VRAX at the VWAP. I'm a little slow the second time here to get back in while watching. So far, so good at the lows here, VRAX. The other one pushing up a little bit. Watching the 82 level again. There's 85. I'll take the couple of cents. Taking 83, high 83. Can we continue? A little bit more for an aggressive trade here. Taking the 1 cent. It might rip through 85. Can we see it? There's 85. Okay, there's 86. 83.8, 84. I'm back in again, a little higher here, closer to 84. Okay, it looks like it's struggling a bit. A little bit of some quicker trades there, but okay, I think I might switch over. If it breaks down below 80, I'll switch over to QCLS. The halt is at 513, and we're at 508 here. And it's halting up. Okay, this is good. Can we get locked in here? VRAX back up again at 84. If it breaks over 86, it could be really interesting, but it has to hold. We can easily fall back down as we're seeing here, like 85 to 83. The highs are around 87 actually. So QCLS is halted up, which is good. The 1 minute candle make the new high here. Definitely a trade to hold if it's going to be strong. giving it a chance. And it's giving it a chance was not the right move there. Plus 200 to plus 100. I'm going to lose half right there. And I was up 2.5 cents unrealized. That's just a tough trade. Now we had a chance to retake the highs there. Just, just gave out. 1 minute candle made the new high. And that was it. It needed to go right there. I'll keep an eye on it for the red to green over time. But I'm gonna switch my screens. VRAX QCLS. QCLS. So only $100 there. After highs of 222. QCLS. Not bad though for 4,500 share blocks. I mean, getting it up to $200 there is pretty impressive for that type of size. Okay. We got 2 minutes 30 seconds and we're halted up over the pre-market high. Of course, break of 450 was the setup here. Opportunity is going to cost. Although the opportunity was good. The other stock, I'd say. The 1 minute candle made the new high over here and ended up going 474 to 508. We're halted up 513. Daily chart. Do we have any potential resistance on VRAX? On QCLS. So for me, I like to just double check everything, just, make sure it's looking decent. And we do have some daily levels coming up. 522, jeez, 553, 690. I mean, it might rip through all these levels, right? It's just a little tough when you do have them here, though. Short sellers could potentially short into these levels. Ay, ay, ay. 553. And then there's 695 and 894. 695. I mean, if we could get to 695, it would be really good. Time 50 seconds. All right, okay. Let's see. Size. And leaving, it feels so weird to leave. You come back, it's like I'm thinking of my hotkeys and what size the buttons are. 30 seconds. Yeah, I think I'll go a couple hundred shares and then, kind of go from there. We're at 513. It's showing slightly higher. Can we see the good old-fashioned dip and rip? Here we go. Not bad. Did not get the fills there watching. No fills again. Tried for like 510. We got a high 39. The breakout could be a little bit more tough. So not the best fill the first trade. Second trade, no fill at all. Being patient and waiting. Let's see how well it holds up. I'm going to take a good loss there. $150 loss in at 05 out at 90. Are we going to continue to hold up here? Looks like I'm going to get chopped out of this one. Damn, that's a tough one. And again, at low fives and watching kind of in a little high, honestly. So far, so good though. We're not seeing a catastrophic sell-off, and that's the key here. If we can just hold up and give another move, a second leg, third leg. If it's strong, we should see 540 again. So right now, just waiting patiently. Down 380 on this one. Another trade in at 503, 1200 shares out at 90. So 2 losses of like 150 right there. It could be Christmas treeing here. Fair trades. I think it might be finished. Unless we end up getting a bottoming wick here. Or like pulling back, a little too much. My first trade, I think I added a little too early. I needed to wait a little towards my stop for the ad. And I kind of added it like 504 twice. I bought twice at like 504. And my stop was 90. It literally came to the penny of 90. So I stopped out the first time. Second time here, we're breaking below the level. So green $100 in one account, red 380 in another. So down 280. And keeping it tight and waiting for something else. Gonna check the scans, gonna check the chat. QCLS Christmas tree. The front side was decent, but we're seeing a very early backside, which, you know, kind of sucks. You want to see that second and third leg. Instead, short sellers already had control since at like 5:30 after resumption. Man, I should have already took the damn trade. Watching at VRAX potential red to green here. That was a good dip before the breakout. You know, I kind of hesitated a little bit there, but it turned out to be pretty good. 74 to 80. You know, that's a good trade there. If I'm a little bit more aggressive. Oh my fucking hell! Holy shit! Damn, that's gonna put me red on this one, bro. Jesus Christ! I was ready to add twice on that one too. That could have been bad if I had size. Jeez Louise. What was that? Bro, what is this nonsense? You see that type of sell off, you just can't. There's no way you can predict that happening, right? My stop was like 75, and I'm willing to add two more times in at 78. I'm in at 78.9, willing to add like at 77, then 76, and then like watch my stop in the pullback. Our 5 minute candlestick, very aggressive there at the time. It's just straight Titanic. That was a tough one. So sidelines again until we see another good looking setup. And that red to green just rejected miserably there, VWAP. Short sellers in full control here. And that's actually going to put us like good red on the day now. From down to 80 to red like 500. So sidelines until something can hold up. We've had two decent stocks to start, but nothing holding up. Everything's selling off. IRBT. Let's see. Bro, it's so easy to have size too. Like, man. I could have seen myself having like 16,000 shares already and looking to add two more times, to go up to like 50,000 shares. That, on those days like that, it's just gonna be brutal. Like thousands of dollars just gonna disappear. Let's see here. I need a 5 minutes candlestick. Yeah, I'm gonna take a starter on IRBT on the 5 minute setup here. Smaller size. At the view up, pull back. I don't know the day. I mean, it's pretty still a little early, but it's looking a little slow, right? Our two main stocks sold off in not so great fashion. One of them had a halt going up, looked pretty promising, and then very quickly was at the lows of the day. And then VRAX, which attempted a 5 minute setup red to green right there, just completely obliterated on the way back down. The only trade I'm a little disappointed in is the trade where I added like at the same price. I needed to space out that trade, which I knew. I kind of just went against my intuition, which you don't really want to do, right? It's only going to make sense if I'm going to be more aggressive with size. But being that I was looking to just take on 1,200 shares, adding at the same price point was just kind of silly. IRBT, let me pull it up on screen. Adding for the 1 minute candle to make a new high here. A little aggressive, but watching to see if we continue in the red to green here. QCLS. The level 2 looks active over there. So we're getting a pullback here in the red to green, which is fine. I think it still looks pretty decent. You see, the key with trading, right? Once you're trading well, especially, is just to see some follow through. I think everyone who's here can say we didn't really see much follow through, right? If you caught QCLS the first couple of trades, like on the front side, and maybe you're able to avoid the pullback, but you know, did we see follow through? Our lows, what's our lows? 48 or something? I'm definitely watching this setup here. Got some shares at mid 50s. What's the high of day level? 790? 270? 270. Does it have what it takes to rip through 270? This is actually holding up for now, which is really nice to see. Only green $100 on it, but we've made like 20 to 25 cents already. You know, just using small size. There's 280, so we are going to see a bit of a high if they push. Maybe not 20 cents, maybe less than 20 cents, maybe like 16 cents. We've made like 16 cents on it, which is good. No, more than 20 cents. We took 48 to 60 and then 55 to 80 here. Small size. This watch right here, right? Watch this. Because this stock is holding up, I'm gonna take the next trade with size. Let's see if we get more follow through, right? That's the key here. Will we see follow through? Can we continue to hold our levels and make new highs? If we can, then you know we stand a really, really good chance at doing well. I'm gonna take a little bit more size on the next setup here. Will the market reward me here? At least on one of these stocks. KB, are you even alive on this one here? So I'll take around 1,800 to 2,400 shares, which is a little bit more size compared to just 1,200 or 600, 700, which I used the last block. It might keep going here over 85. I could try the high if they break out, which will be a little bit more aggressive. Mm, damn it. Well, we didn't really get much of a dip. I didn't get to add back, so I'm just still holding small size from 55. It seems like it's getting rejected here. Like we're not making a new high. What's it going to be? Can we push through? We do have some sellers. I'm going to try it. Small size. And small loss. We did get through 91, which had a lot of sellers, or 90, I should say, but not much after that. We had a pretty aggressive candle. Will we be able to hold up? So got a little bit of shares there. I mean, I don't know what to expect. Like, will we see a quick red to green, or will it be a longer pullback? It's hard to say. I mean, we just had such an aggressive move that if we do consolidate here for a little bit, it's like I can't really be upset because the move just now is so aggressive, right? There's 86, 87. I'm actually going to sell some of those shares here because did not expect to have a quick red to green at all. The only thing I don't love here is that we have a good size. Like we have a 5 minute candlestick that's brand new, rather, right? It's brand new, and so there's a chance we could see weakness. But the goal here is to get over 290. Can we rip to $3 and so forth? So far, we're up $157 on the stock with the small size, which did help us out a little bit with the red that we saw, but we're still down like 4 something. We were red closer to 600, I think, actually. This seems so far like the stock. Because I'm only saying that because it gave that aggressive pullback earlier, held up, curled up, made a new high. So I think this one here might be it. It might be the one. It might be the one. I didn't get to push any size because I was watching for a little lower to add, but a couple hundred shares, 2 decent trades so far. I don't expect us to see the view up, so looking to have tight stops. So there's some volume coming in. Let's see if it does give that push through 90 here. Okay, maybe not quite yet. I got 2,000 shares, mid 70s. Well, we see 90, 95, $3. It should go to $3 here. Now, I did sell half at 82, which was not a smart thing to do, but sold another half there and watching for the rest to go to 3. Everything says here we should see $3. My crystal ball is telling me 3. Will my crystal ball shine? Anything back down, I don't like. It needs to go here because, well, it doesn't need to go here. It can do what it wants to do, but here looks good to go, right? We're seeing good volume. We're getting a decent move. Still holding a quarter size with a trailing stop. Is this it? Can we see $3? Was the okay? We might see a pullback here. That's how it's looking. Do we have what it takes to rip through 90? Right now, I'm just holding like 100 shares from 75, 76. Again, we did sell half early at 82, which just, kind of paper handsy a little bit there. A little paper handsy. It looks like it might need to pull back. I mean, we had a good test of strength there for the breakout, just didn't go. So, well, we continue to hold up key levels. Will we continue to hold up key levels? I'm thinking like a lot of my trades just really need to be one or the other, like a break-even trade or the result of what the trade should be. Can't afford to be cutting the trade early. So from the red 600 to red 330, bit of a climb back after the bigger flush out earlier. Just watching and waiting. It'll be good if our support can hold up again here. Risking like $75 here, maybe a little less than that. Looks like it might be coming down here. The VWAP is around 65. We'll see if maybe it's able to get another bounce, but coming down a bit. Damn, not a good fill. Got filled a little, aiming for 75, filled 77. Not the best there, but watching again. time. Feel like there's just a little bit more risk to it. I mean, we're kind of here. We've been here for a while. We'll see if it continues to hold up though. We've given back 100 off the top on this one. Watching and waiting. It looks like it could be finished here. I got 300 shares here, 70. The VWAP was much lower at I think like 59, 60. Now it's pretty much right here, 68. I think this is like the last level. If we're not able to hold, then it's just Titanic. Looks like it'll be Titanic here. Oh, we gave back quite a bit on this one, from green 297 to green 112. Not ideal, but decent nevertheless. This is a nice move here. Checking the scans, checking the chat. For those of you watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Well, we're back to red 500 after a good bounce back there. Doesn't seem like there's a lot moving right now. We had VRAX, which I believe sold off. We took a loss here in this big red candle on this one. QCLS. QCLS, we didn't trade the front side because we were watching something else in that time frame. We did make 230, 220. And then after the resumption here, it was straight backside. We ended up losing here on the dip at 5. We got stopped out to the penny the first trade, which was a little tough. But I think if I spaced out my ad, I would have still been able to give it like a couple more cents to survive in that trade. And in the bounce, we only got 525 or so. The second time I was in unrealized, like up 20 cents, but watching for the breakout back over the highs. You know, we had 568 and then 540. So didn't really sell around 525. Was looking for that push all the way up to 540 for the retest. It stalled out 28 or so, or 25 or so, and you know, right back down. And we stopped out below 90 the second time, so in at like 504, 503, out at 90, 1200 shares the first trade, which, you know, 98 was like the exact bottom, unfortunately, there. Second time in at like 503, green unrealized at 525. Didn't take it, looking for the retest of the highs here. 68, you know, 68 high of day. 25 is like just a bounce, a small bounce off of our support. So didn't really consider taking profits. So on the days where we see those, you know, the good follow through there is where we'll do super well. And this here is not what we want to see. It's just, you know, up and down. 3 minutes of action, 5 minutes of halt, resumption. So it's like 3 minutes of action here going up. The stock is paused for 5 minutes, and then the next 5 minutes is just sell off. So 3 minutes of good trading, or let's say good opportunities, and then just backside. So I think overall a bit of a slower day, all things considered. We did give back a little too much on our last stock though. IRBT, green 300 to green 112, 200 off the top there. But not bad though, for the small size as well. Our biggest position today, 2,000 shares. Yeah, that breakout was no good. 76, 83, 87, 88. I'm gonna also change one of my hotkeys so I can like sell more shares later into the push. I think halves is just a little too much. You know, more like 25%, maybe less than that even could make more sense. Not seeing much in the scans yet, and not seeing much call outs in the chat. We'll have to wait on the sideline for something else. So the one stock that gave some follow through, surprise, surprise, we're green on that one. Follow through is the name of the game. And I'm pretty sure if we did trade QCLS, we would have also been green here. If we traded it in the first 5 minutes. Yeah, VRAX is a tough one, man. When this red to green is happening, the setup is A class. We are below the VWAP, yes, but we're breaking over our ABCD pivot here clean in good fashion. Our 5-minute candlestick is full and bullish towards the level of VWAP. And then the next minute, we're seeing the biggest red candle of the day here. So, you know, it's curling back up over here. Is it worth giving it a shot again? The volume would say no. You know, our bigger volume is on red candles here. It's like, do I even want to try the VWAP trade again when before the setup looked even better? You know, if I'm going to trade this one, it has to be above the VWAP, maybe surprising short sellers if there's some sort of bigger institution or bank buying this thing to get it going again. If not, no trades on this one here coming up to the VWAP level for the breakout. Fooled me once, will not fool me twice. IRBT, good looking stock, just not able to break out over 290 after the red to green. It held up really well though for considering where it came from. Like 240. The pullback after the highs of 290, the pullback held up 76, which is a really tight range. I'm gonna put up a poll in the chat room. It should allow me to add everyone on that, but it doesn't work. Let me check the chat room here. Let's see. Looks like there were some pre-market trades. Yeah, I'd say the open a little slower. Remember, if you're tuning in, remember the disclaimer as well. Day trading is risky. Right now we're at $500. I kind of just did a bit of a, I just did a bit of a review there. QCLS, just nothing good after the resumption, which is where we started trading. VRAX, decent trades at the VWAP early into the open. Jeez. But the red to green trade got us. So green, $100 there to red. Highs of 220 on that one. A little disappointing to take like a 8-cent loss on a cheaper stock, but the flush down was in the blink of an eye. Off a nice ABCD as well. You know, VRAX, it's on a small flag, but again, below the VWAP just doesn't look that great. Can we see a move to the VWAP? It's possible, but it's like these areas here were just like in a much weaker environment, you know? If we look at this push here, if we look at this move here, you know, it's just not a strong move, right? Versus 8 a.m. had this bigger move going up. SPY recovered a good bit. Let's see. I think I'll stick around for another 10, 15 minutes maybe on the stream. I'll be around a little longer here after the stream. I mean, for me, looking at this, like I'd say for me personally, the short trade, you know, below the breakdown here looked decent, but it's a pretty low short. I mean, being short 490, it is a little tough, I'd say, in this area here. That risk of the red to green is pretty high, and you know, there's all this upside back to fill the gap, but for the people who might have been short 520s, 540s, which would have been a great read. These stocks are failing pretty easily. You know, you look at the volume profile, you look at the candlesticks, the move. You know, it seems so bullish here, right? Like this seems so bullish. Like looking at this part of the chart, it's like if I look at this chart just like this and say, "Hey, is backside gonna start the next candle?" You know, it is like insane how we go from looking so good to just washing out. This entire area here just like washed out. We haven't had, you know, I guess there was a bounce here, but like a bull flag going up or anything, just destroyed. Yeah. Likewise at VRAX. Off the red to green. You know, I think you'd expect a pullback for sure. You know, something like this red candle here, but definitely not, you know, the biggest red candle of the day kind of thing here. And this one has been down and sideways. We did have a really good, so we lost, we're up 220 here, and we lost on this red candle. We were green unrealized like 2 cents already. Yeah, we're in at like 84 or something, like 84.5. And we saw 87, didn't really look to sell right away. Looking to give it a chance to retake this level here at 88.90. And very quickly it came back down. We're stopping out at like 81, 82. So we took a loss whilst being green unrealized 2.5 cents, which, you know, isn't really good. Completely obliterated there though on this dip. Yeah, I think it was a good day. Just, you know, not a lot of action into the open. So tomorrow, you know, we'll see what's going on with the pre-market as well. But the open today, just not a ton. I think that might do it. We have IRBT curling back up. It's at 70, 74. It's a little harder for me to trust it here. I think if it gets up to 85, 90, you know, I can watch the breakout. If it's able to get through 90, I can watch the second leg after that in terms of the pullback trades and the uptrend again. But I don't trust this 70 level here, you know. We already broke down. Not super interested in that one. IRBT right now. So this is the kind of stock I'll keep on the chart, you know, after the stream as well, just to see if it gets up to 90. And definitely we'll have to use small size to regain a rhythm again and then go from there if it does keep curling. But yeah, I think that's going to do it here. So red 500 on the return, which is not good. Although the trading was pretty decent. Honestly, it's kind of a day I'd like rate the day, like I'd rate my trading at like a 80, like at 86. We just need to see follow through. 86%, 88%. B plus. Maybe this one will continue to inch up. No man's land. Like these type of trades down here are just like so ridiculous. You know, after we're dead, then we get the short sellers covering a little bit, and that, you know, I'd never, you know, after this type of sell off, I'd never expect this bounce. Like I'd expect maybe like a little bit of a move to 260 after 240, if anything, like 260, and then you know, now at like $2. The only thing I'd be watching here is a breakout, right? The stock is pretty extended. Will we see $3? Definitely feel a little out of whack with it, you know. So I'll take it slow. I'd hope we can see like a high flag, a high consolidation, and then a breakout. If we pull all the way back down like 270, 260, then, you know, there's just not going to be much here. But if we can hold high in the consolidation and give a move, then we'll get a much better chance at making something. I want to see it fly, like just rip up to 3. Watching mid 90s here with a position. Tight stop, looking at the red to green here. The only thing I'm a little concerned about here is that the move started from so low at like 240. You know, we just broke the high of day level at 288, 292, somewhere there. You know, will we be able to hold up those previous levels? Doesn't look like it. Not yet, at least. So in at 93, out at 88 right there. 1,000 shares. Waiting on the sidelines to see what it wants to do. Now we're consolidating below our previous resistance, which just, you know, it's just not an ideal place to be. Definitely can see short sellers, you know, probably taking another stab at this thing. Yeah, I think what I'll do here is just stop and then, you know, let's get something fresh pretty much. Like the move just started a little too low, you know. The move is coming from what I like to call no man's land, you know, down in the depths. The breakouts these days are typically very, very slow. So there's no, you know, intuition to just say, hey, let me buy 85 for a through $3, right? In previous markets, that would make a lot of sense because we could see that reaction within like seconds. So it's hard to gauge if the breakout would make sense here early, let's say like at 80, 85. So, you know, just small trades in at like 88, out at 94, in at 95, out at 3 with smaller size. But these areas like this, I like to see the stock hold up the previous high, which is a little tough to say here because the move started so low, right? Relative to our high of day. So I'd say it's a little bit more expected that the pullback could be bigger here, which is just a little tough for the dip. Can our previous resistance become support? Not quite in this case. And this gives short sellers a good base to short against the stock again. You know, like we're at 89. This thing could end up having more resistance again at 92. Not to mention people who might have been watching it down here saying, hey, let me sell into this high, you know? So despite a good move up, I don't know, it just doesn't seem ideal. Doesn't seem super clean unless you're already in at like 250. Then anything here is, of course, super clean. 1 minute candle to make the new high. You know, will 92 become a problem again? Is a big thing here. So we gave back 90 bucks there extra, so now we're red like 590. Plus or minus couple dollars maybe. So for me, just watching at the sideline at this point, not taking any trades. Gonna shut it down here in a couple minutes. Just giving it a couple more minutes just to kind of see what it does, but not looking for trades. Off screen, I'll be doing some other stuff here, and then if something else is to hit the scans, I wouldn't mind with small size, but if not, tomorrow's another day. It's good to see this VWAP breakout here at least hold up though, compared to the other stock. This is kind of what we would expect in this type of area, is like a smaller, tighter pullback, and not just a red candle like all the way back down to the lows. Even if it does fail, like a gradual, decline, a couple of red candles, kind of what we had here. So big level 92, 94. Can we sustain over 92, 94 here to retest $3? There's a new 5-minute candlestick. Can we push through at least? Come on, we can do it. Can we see 301, 305? Good. All right. It still has some fight in it. It's good to see that we didn't reject mid 90s there. Well, yeah, for me, I'll be back tomorrow. So red 600, a little less than that, somewhere there. I can do the math here for an exact number. Let's see. Yeah, 613. 613. But shutting it down, and we'll see. Hopefully, we get some stronger momentum tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll be watching some pre-market action too. But hopefully, we get some stronger momentum at the open, especially early. Um, and I think the 5 minute setup, we gotta really keep an eye on it. A lot of times they're not really holding up, but we're seeing these type of bigger red to greens lower. So paying attention back at the VWAP levels can always be a good idea, especially if we're holding tight. We'll just have to find out in the moment. Sometimes we'll hold these areas, sometimes it's just not going to hold. And as long as we're keeping the stops tight, that's what's going to be the key here. So tomorrow again. For those who are going till 4 p.m., stay disciplined, stay patient. And IRBT looks like it might continue here if you're in a good rhythm with this one. There might be some more opportunities, maybe to 315, 320. But so far, so good in terms of at least holding up an uptrend here, going back to 10:25 a.m. off that red to green. I'm not in a good rhythm with it, so I'm not going to look to bother. I'll wait for something else that I am in a good rhythm with to press on and be aggressive. So take care, stay safe, stay green. Catch you guys tomorrow morning.